Good morning, everyone. In this video, we are going to see chapter number 13, photosynthesis in higher plants. We know what is our syllabus. In our syllabus of 2020-21, what are the chapters are going to come? And this chapter is included photosynthesis in higher plants. Let us start with this chapter. The general energy required by all living organisms comes directly or indirectly from sunlight. We all of us know that the sunlight plays an important role in fixation of carbon dioxide, through which conservation of solar energy into chemical energy takes place. Water plays a significant role during this process. Hence, photosynthesis is the process by which all green plants, some bacteria and some protists, just such as Euglena, use the energy from sunlight to produce sugar, which through cellular respiration produce ATP, the fuel used by all living organisms. Photosynthesis is an important phenomenon due to the following two reasons. It's the primary source of all food on the earth. Second, it is responsible for the release of oxygen into the atmosphere by the green plant. Let us see what are the raw material required for photosynthesis. Raw material for photosynthesis. So it requires light, CO2, etc. in the process of photosynthesis. Several simple experiments might be performed indicating that light, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and water are essential raw material for the photosynthesis to take place. Let us see what is the importance of light. The rate of photosynthesis is directly proportional to the intensity of light. The necessity of light for photosynthesis can be shown by fixing a dark paper on the leaf of well-watered but de-starched plant. Plant can be de-starched by placing it in dark for 48 hours. After fixing the paper, the setup is exposed to sunlight for 2 to 6 hours. After removing the paper, the test for the starch is performed over leaf. Starch is produced only in the area that receives light. Shows that light is necessary for photosynthesis. Next is carbon dioxide. To initiate the half-leaf experiment, a part of leaf is enclosed in the test tube. The test tubes contain some cotton soaked in KOH, and the other half of the leaf is exposed to light. The setup is then allowed to stand in light for about few hours. When starch test was done, it was observed that the exposed part of the leaf was tested positive for the starch, while the portion that was enclosed in the tube tested negative. This indicates that CO2 is also essential for photosynthesis to take place. Third is chlorophyll. To start with the experiment, two leaves are taken. One is variegated leaf, or the leaf that must be partially covered with black paper, and another leaf that must be exposed to light. When these leaves are tested for the presence of starch, it was observed that photosynthesis has occurred only in the green part of the leaf in the presence of light, which ensures that chlorophyll is essential for photosynthesis. Water. Through radio labeling of oxygen in water molecule, it is confirmed that oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from water, not carbon dioxide. Now let us see what are the landmark discoveries of photosynthesis. Study of photosynthesis started about 100 years ago. Prior to the researchers used to believe that plant gets all of their nourishment from soil only by the means of roots. Thus, several simple experiments lead to the development of understanding of the process involved. Some early experiments performed by different scholars prove the following facts regarding photosynthesis. You can see first Priestley experiment, role of air in photosynthesis. Joseph Priestley performed a series of experiments in 70s and revealed about the essentiality of air in the growth of green plant. He observed that the burning candle or a respiring mouse in enclosed space soon gets extinguished and died due to suffocation respectively, because burning candle and animal that breathe the air soon get damaged. On the other hand, after placing a mint plant in the bell jar along with a burning candle and a mouse, he observed that the mouse stayed alive and also the candle continued to burn for a longer time. So what was the conclusion drawn from this experiment? He hypothesized that the foul air produced by the burning of candle and mouse respiration could be converted into pure air by the plant. that is mint plant. Bubbles of O2 evolved from aquatic plant. In this experiment with an aquatic plant, Jen shows that in the bright sunlight, formation of small bubbles takes place around the green parts, while in dark formations of those bubbles did not take place. The bubbles that he observed were found of oxygen and showed that only green part of the plant could release oxygen. Green part plant perform photosynthesis. Let us see. Green plant perform photosynthesis. Julius, with his experiment, 1854 provided evidence that glucose is produced when the plant grows, which is usually stored as starch. He later shows that a green substance, that is chlorophyll, is found to locate in the special bodies called chloroplast in the plant. He came to the conclusion that the green parts are placed in the plant where production of glucose takes place and same gets converted in the form of starch for storage. Blue-green light is the best for photosynthesis. Engelmann performed an interesting experiment with the green alga, Cladophora. He split light into its spectrum component by using prism. He then illuminated the alga, placed in the suspension of aerobic bacteria, Rhidospirillum. He noticed that the accumulation of bacteria was mainly in the region of blue and red light of split spectrum. By the work done by him, at first action spectrum of photosynthesis was thus described, which roughly resembles the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and B. Therefore, the key features of process of photosynthesis were known by the middle of 19th century, which detailed that plants require light energy harvested from sunlight for the formation of carbohydrate from carbon dioxide and water. Chloroplast, the site of photosynthesis. These are the green plastids you can see in the diagram that function as a site of photosynthesis. It helps in the synthesis of organic food. The process of photosynthesis takes place in green leaves of the plant because chloroplasts are abundantly present in the mesophyll cell of the leaves. Chloroplast is a double membrane bounded DNA and ribosomes. It also consists of stroma, a membrane system called lamina or thylakoid. At the same place, the thylakoid get aggregated and disc-like structure called grana. The clear division of labor occurs within the chloroplast, that is, the membrane system is responsible for trapping of solar energy and synthesis of ATP and NADPH, whereas stroma has enzymes which are responsible for the reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate and formation of sugar. As the former set of reaction is dependent on light, so are called light reaction, while the later is independent of product of light, that is ATP and NADPH2, thus called dark reaction. Now, what are the pigments involved in photosynthesis? Let us see. The pigment involved in the process of photosynthesis are photosynthetic pigment. These pigments provide different shades of green in leaves in different plants or in leaves of same plant. These pigments are easily to be separated out by chromatographic techniques on the basis of their significance. The photosynthetic pigment are of two types, primary pigment and accessory pigment. Primary pigment consist of molecule chlorophyll A and B, whereas the support and the function of primary pigment, that is ancestral pigments, are xanthophyll and carotenoids. The chromatographic separation of the leaves pigment shows that it is not only the single pigment which is responsible for the color of the leaves. Instead, the different shades of leaves are due to the four different pigments that have different ability to absorb light at specific wavelength. The different pigments present in the leaves are described as chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, and carotenoids. Let us see the absorption spectrum. It is a curve, you can see. It is the curve that shows different amount of wavelength of the light absorbed by the substance. The graph given over here shows the ability of chlorophyll A to absorb light of different wavelength. Chlorophyll A has the maximum absorption peak at 450 nm and also shows another peak at 650 nm. Absorption spectrum is constituted by the pigments like violet, blue, orange, and red lights. The emission spectrum is constituted by yellow and yellow-green pigment. Action spectrum, it is covered that the relative rates of photosynthesis at different wavelength of light. Now another graph given over here shows that the wavelength at the maximum photosynthesis occurs as blue, violet and red wavelength in a plant. Hence, the concluded that chlorophyll A is the chief pigment which is majorly responsible for the photosynthesis. The another graph given below shows the action spectrum of photosynthesis which coincide closely to the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll. Hence, all the three graphs together shows the major parts of photosynthesis that takes place in blue and red region, while some of the photosynthesis takes place at other wavelength also is visible spectrum. Apart from chlorophyll A, which is mainly responsible for trapping of light, another thylakoid pigment such as chlorophyll B, xanthophyll, carotenoid also absorb light, transferring energy to chlorophyll A. This pigment are called as accessory pigments. In the next video, we are going to see mechanism of photosynthesis. Thank you.